How's everyone doing today? Thank you so much for tuning in to another video. Thanks so much for all the support on my videos lately. It's just been insane. And from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. So I just want to say thank you. Today's video is going to be another sit down video that I think is going to provide a ton of value. So if it does, please smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and drop a comment on maybe a topic you want to see me talk about next, and I will gladly cover it. The story you tell yourself as a trader is going to make or break you. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what I mean. We're going to talk about some of my experience, and hopefully it can help you in your journey, whether you're a beginner or whether you are, an advanced trader. It can be so easy in our journey to create this imaginary story of how our trading journey is going to go, how our life is going to go. I'll be profitable by X. I'll be making this much money by Y. I know you've done it because I have too. But the funny thing is, the market simply doesn't care about our story in our mind. The market doesn't care the plans we have. It doesn't care about the goals, and time doesn't care. How many of you right now watching this video have said to yourself, I'm gonna have all of this completed by then? It may be funding. Say your goal is funding. I'll be 100K funding by next week, or I'll be 400K funding by the end of the year. And you work your butt off the whole year, you do everything you're supposed to do to get there, and it just doesn't come true. Now, how many of you have this same story in your mind, and you have a certain date that you think you're gonna be profitable by or have all this money by, but you don't do the work? You simply just go through the motions every single day. Maybe you spend a ton of time on Netflix. Maybe you're playing video games all day. Maybe you're hanging out with your friends all day. You're not making any sacrifices, but in your mind, the story you are creating in your head is that you will be at this level by this date. You'll have this money by this date. You get me? You'll be living the life like this trader you see on Instagram by this date, but you're actually not doing any of the work. If that's you, it's okay, because I've been there too. Let me take a minute to talk about one of the best new prop firms in the industry, Think Capital. Think Markets, a fully regulated broker, has entered the prop space. This is huge for us traders. With over 15 years of broker experience and regulation, this gives us another prop firm we can trust. We can trade right from TradingView, or you can use the classic MT5 with up to 300K in max allocation, and they also offer to US clients. I know this is amazing news to my American trader friends. You can even withdraw your profits right to your Think Markets broker account. If you use the code ARMTrading, you will get 15% off any challenge. Please make sure you sign up and create an account, then at checkout the code will work. The code is also case sensitive, so make sure you type it in exactly how it is shown. Let's get back to the video. I've been super complacent in my trading journey, and this has happened a few times where things would start to go well for me. The story in my mind, would tell me that everything's going to be okay. Everything's okay. I'm doing everything I need to do. When in reality, I wasn't. I became complacent and my goals started to suffer. I stopped improving. I stopped progressing like I was before. And this honestly went on for probably half a year. It wasn't until this year where I really reflected and realized what I was doing wrong, and the story in my mind was wrecking my trading results. Again, I'm gonna touch on this later on in the video, and it's all gonna make sense. So this is what I mean by the story in our mind is either going to make us or break us. Something I found that helped me immensely in my journey, whether it be trading, life, entrepreneurship, it doesn't matter, was removing the story I had created in my mind about how my journey was gonna go. And this can be good or bad, because in reality, like I said earlier, life doesn't care about our journey. Life doesn't care about the goals we have, the timeline that we expect to, finish or complete it in. Life literally doesn't care, okay? So it's honestly pointless creating this imaginary story in our head of where we're gonna be by this certain time, The best thing we can do is remove that story. Get rid of the story that the ego is telling us every single day. You are the best trader. You are gonna be here. You are gonna have all this money. And instead, focus on the facts. Focus on doing what you have to do every single day to get. Because let's face it, facts are facts. If you are giving yourself this story, if you're telling yourself this story that you are this amazing trader, you're telling your friends you're an amazing trader, but you're losing all the time, you're not putting in the work, you're going through the motions, then you're creating this fallacy in your mind that you believe that isn't true. And as a result, the end of the year is gonna come, the end of the quarter is gonna come. It doesn't matter what timeline you have for yourself, you're not gonna be there. And then you're gonna give up thinking, oh my God, this is a scam, or you're gonna give up and think this isn't for me, when in reality, you were just listening to the ego in your mind. You weren't actually looking at the facts. You weren't actually looking at the work that you were putting in. You were just thinking of an outcome without figuring out the process to get there or executing on the things you needed to do to get there. We've all been there. Like I said, I've been there so many times throughout my journey. I've been trading over 5 years now. So everything I'm talking to you about on my channel is stuff that I have done, stuff that I have learned and grown from, that I can help you with. So I can share this and help, hopefully, maybe you're someone who's new and you have no idea what I'm talking about. You will one day. Maybe you're someone who's going through this exact same thing, or maybe you're someone who made it to the other side and you can reflect on this. And that's you. If you are any of those people, smash this like button. Smash the like button for your boy, please. Maybe you're telling yourself that you were the best trader around. Maybe you've had a winning streak, right? We've all had winning streaks. Even when you don't know what you're doing, you can catch a winning streak, right? When you're on that winning streak, are you telling yourself you're the best? Are you calling the Lamborghini dealership saying, yo, I'm gonna be there next week, hold off, just wait, I'll be there, okay? If these are true, then you are acting on an emotional state, right? Your emotions rise. And what happens when emotions rise? Intelligence goes down. So then you're operating on emotions. So then the next couple trades that you take, you're gonna think you're the man or the girl, and you're just gonna lose, and then you're just gonna spiral out of control. We've all been there. Like I've talked about before in other videos, when I started my trading journey, I literally took $1,000 to $1,600 in 1 week, and I thought I was the man. And quickly, the ego, the story that was being told in my brain, was humbled by reality. It was humbled by the markets, and I lost all that money that I had gained that week. Isn't that funny? So our ego is what's hurting us. Our ego is what's holding us back. If you haven't read this book, Ego is the Enemy by Ron Holiday, so good. Please go read this book because it has so many lessons about our ego that applies to everything in our life. And it's great because it applies to trading so much. We have a story in our brains that we tell ourselves that we matter, that we are the coolest person ever. You know, how many times do you walk down the street, you look in the reflection at a store and you're like, yeah, I'm looking good. No one's looking at us. You know, if you think about it that way, everyone's focused on themselves. Everyone's doing their own thing. Now, I'm not saying go out and have bad negative self-talk. I'm just saying the story you're telling in your brain has to match your actions, right? You have to be humble or else life is gonna humble you. Just like in the markets, if you win a couple trades and you think you're the man or the woman, guess what? You're gonna get humbled, right? The same thing goes for every part of your life. You have to remain humble. You have to be humble. You have to be your best self, right? And your best self comes by actions, right? You can manifest, you can sit on the couch and do nothing, right? And be like, oh man, you know, this manifestation thing. By next year, I'm gonna have $1 million. As you sit there, pick your belly button, eat KFC, eat terrible, get bad sleep, watch Netflix all night, and you think goals are just gonna come to you? You think opportunities are just gonna come to you? You think money is just gonna come to you? Heck no. It's like trading. You wanna succeed at trading, you're manifesting, oh man, by next month, I'm gonna be 400K in funding. Meanwhile, you don't backtest, you don't even have a winning strategy. You see me on social media doing it, maybe you see someone else on social media doing it, and you want it, right? That's natural, that's a human instinct to want what, you know, you think is cool. But after that temporary motivation wears off, are you doing the work? Or are you adding to that story in your mind that you are telling yourself, that the ego is telling you? Because if that's the truth, you are not going to make it. So like I said, the ego is telling us these stories in our brain. We have to back ourselves by doing, not by thinking and imagining. So just simply do the work, execute on the things you have to do on a day-to-day basis. That way, that story that is automatically being told in your brain, you're able to catch yourself and be like, you know what? I am a good trader. I am doing everything I need to do, you know? Maybe I won't be here by this date, or I want to be here by this date, but if not, that's okay. Another thing I want to add is, this is what I found, and yours may differ from mine, but whenever I have said this is going to happen by this date, it never happens by that date. It either happens earlier or it happens later. But I'm working my butt off the whole time to get there. Not everything is up to us. The only thing we have control of is the things we do every single day to get to that spot, right? We have no control over the outcome. We only have control of the process, right? So we must learn when we win. We must learn when we lose. We must embrace the struggle, okay? Embrace the struggle, embrace the journey and everything in between. And remembering we only have control of the things that we do, right? You only have control of the amount of work that you do every single week, every single month, which then turns into every single year. So what honestly transformed my trading and took it to the next level was getting rid of my ego. Getting rid of the timeline in my brain that I'm gonna be successful by this date. And instead, focusing on the process, focusing on doing the things I need to do every single day to get there. It holds us back, It is a fallacy. It pumps us up. It's that same kind of thing. They say people get addicted to telling people their goals because it releases the same amount of dopamine in our brain as completing it does. So what I mean by that is if you have the goals that you're telling people you want to be 400K funded, or that's your goal, you're getting a temporary release of dopamine. It's addicting receiving dopamine, right? But apparently, if you tell me that, you get the same amount of dopamine telling that story as you would if you just went and passed the 400K funding. Do you get what I mean? So stop telling people your goals. That just adds to this. It builds the ego, it builds the story, and just go out and actually do it. Be a doer, okay? Not a talker, be a doer. Time-based expectations hold us back when it comes to mastering a skill. Because if you think about it, everyone's on this journey. Everyone's doing their thing. There's gonna be people who understand it quicker. There's gonna be people who understand it a little later. So who cares if you get there first? Who cares if you get there later on? It doesn't matter because it's only you versus you. You're competing against you. You're not competing against me. You're not competing about him. You're not competing with her, right? It's you versus you. So when trying to master a craft, remember, time doesn't matter. Just focus on the process, focus on the things you need to do, focus on the things you can control, and you will get there, I promise you. Everything is going to happen exactly when it's supposed to. Remember, we're not on our time, we're on God's time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little sit down video. I hope it provided a ton of value. And if it did, smash that like button, please. Subscribe if you're new and drop a comment. We're almost at 60,000 subscribers, which is crazy. And what do I say at the end of every single video? Let's be 1% better every single day. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next one.